Robin from the Straits Times. Mr. Goh, can I ask you a question? Can you give an estimate of the size of the crowd tonight? And also, can you, compared to the first rally in February, right, can you give a sense of how the tone of the speeches were different, this time compared to last time? Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. I think all of us agree that the crowd size is larger than the February one, but it's not massively large. Right, probably about 5 to 6,000. Previously was about 4 to 5,000. So I'll take it as 5 to 6,000. Right, from what I assess as I walk through the crowd, there's about another 1,000 that comes here and there. Right, they come and they go. So there's about 1,000. So officially, as organizers, we gauge the crowd between 5 to 6,000. Well, the mood, I think, is people's power. I think we feel the power, the roar of the people. Right, a lot of the speakers here are ordinary people. Right, we only have G-Say, who is a politician. An event of such a size needs a lot of preparation. 50 volunteers, I think the minimum that we have to have before we can actually organize such an event. I think we have spoken to 30, 40 speakers before we actually selected 11 fantastic speakers here. Don't you think they are good, Singapore? Right, let's give them a hand. Right. Thank you. Yes, ma'am, please.
Sir, I've got one question. What? Where are you from? All of them. All of them. I'm a Singaporean, pink IC. I just want to...
Are you from the press? Are you from the press?
No.
Maybe, ma'am, what can happen is maybe the first few questions we can pass to the press first. After that, I think we will want to allow the ordinary Singaporeans to ask a question. I think it's good. But the first few questions, we probably give it to the press first. I'm sorry, ma'am. Right, it's good. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Dr. Hanson. I'm a blogger. I hope that qualifies.
Oh, certainly. I love your blog.
Oh, thank
I
you
read
very
your blog
much.
regularly. Dr. Hanson.
Okay, I just wanted to ask mainly of Mr. Tan Jise and Mr. Ravi, why does it sound like this? Why do your speeches sound like it's more like a political rally than a protest about the workers?
I think I didn't, not that I'm making excuses, not it is so political actually. I think Mr. Tan Jise was more political, but we respect diversity of views. That's the strength. And I think everything in Singapore is political already, including organization of Straits Times, including organization of NTUC, including organizations of media. So what is not political in Singapore, I would ask.
Actually, there is one non-political. I'm a non-political politician. Because of the presidential election rules, I cannot belong to any political party. So I'm not a political party politician. I'm a non-political politician, if there is such a term. But I'm a Singaporean. Frankly, the speech, yes, it's about policy, more policy, criticism of policy, and what we need to do to change it. Well, it has political undertones because it is a political government. You can only change government through politics. You cannot change government by just saying ha ha, hoo-ha here and there. You have to do it the political way.
Yeah, thank you. I hope that answers your question. Yeah. One more question from the press. Yeah, Zhao Bao.
Hello, hi, my name is Yuan from Taobao. I remember just now a lady mentioned that she is not very comfortable with language policy, and she mentioned that her grandmother speaks Cantonese. And could you elaborate this further, and why do you raise this issue at this occasion? Thank you.
My main point was the government does not always know best. So same to the 6.9 million. So why do I say that? I used the Speak Mandarin campaign as well as the casino allowing the casinos to operate as two examples. The Speak Mandarin campaign, I was intimately involved in the launch of the campaign because I was with ST then. My department was community projects, and we went around house to house to encourage families to speak Mandarin and give them a set of Encyclopedia Britannica to 5 families. My point is this: when I grew up speaking Cantonese, it did not affect my learning of Mandarin, Chinese. In fact, it helped me greatly to love the Chinese culture, as I could recite poems in Cantonese, and later on in school, when I found that, what I say in Cantonese can be said in Mandarin, can be written out, I was so elated. So I was so interested. So when you kill dialects to promote Mandarin, you are killing all children's interest in learning Chinese. Look at our children now, just studying it as an exam topic. And after they finish their A-levels, no need that grade to go into university, kaput. And the second impact of the Speak Mandarin campaign, which is very, very sad, the government has killed off whole generations of contact between the grandchildren and the grandparents. I contrasted my example, my love and interaction with my granny, to how my poor children interacted with their grandma. They only know how to say a few phrases in Cantonese, like, have you eaten? How are you, grandma? I am fine, if grandma asks them, how are you? And that's it. And worse still, they speak in such accented Cantonese. I call it Kelingwa Cantonese, right? Lei ho ma ang yan, like that, instead of lei ho ma ang yan. That's the sorrow, deep sorrow I have about the Speak Mandarin campaign. Then, the casinos, what do they mean? They mean that it's okay to let our neighbors die. Let them lose their pants, become bankrupt. But our people, so to speak, are protected by that magical $100. Hachu, those who really want to go, right? What's $100? So, when you beggar your neighbor instead of love your neighbor as you are told to do, what message are you giving to the whole population? And every day when you open the Straits Times, I don't know about Chao sorry, okay, I do not follow Chao. You see economic statistics, figures, how many more percent growth? Oh, this agency say 0.5% more, the agency say 2% up or down. Alamak, it's like the father telling the kids every morning, hey, today you better bring back $5. You make $20 for me today, okay? If you don't bring back $100 by the end of the month for my pocket money, you're not a good son. You get that message. But is that so? We are good children because we love our parents. We are good Singaporeans because we love our country. We don't litter, not because of the fine. We drive safely because we take care of others' lives and our own lives. So we do everything out of good motives, not because we want the extra dollar, the extra subsidy payout from HDB subsidy and whatever not. Every time they throw this money carrot, it demeans our national character. To link money to everything, it demeans us.
Well done. One more from the press. Anyone from the press?
Just out of curiosity,
Okay,
because
last-
everyone is wearing a black T-shirt, but except for Mr. and Ravi, is there any reason why?
He needs XXXL, which I don't have.
Because I've come here to give the yellow card to the government.
Well said. Yeah, if there's no more question from the press, is there one more? I'll pass this down to the public. Is it okay? Okay. Can I pass this down to the public? Yeah, maybe, can we get a question from you, miss? Yeah, I'm sorry about just now.
I apologize also.
No
I
worries.
didn't know. So sorry. So sorry, sir. So sorry.
It's
everybody.
alright, no
I
worries.
just have one question. What gives the PAP or the government so much confidence? They are so bold, with they're going forward, despite the voice that I think it has reached their ears, but they are only giving lame replies to us. They are just playing up. What gives them the confidence? It seems that what they do now gives them the confidence before 2016 even come. So we have to tackle this one first. This is what I feel.
Yeah, thanks, ma'am. Maybe Kwan, you want to help with that?
I think what gives, well, actually your question is a little bit out of our topic today. I would like very much to keep today's discussion to the 6.9 million population white paper. But on the similar note, this government rushed through the population white paper just after a few days of debate in Parliament. They did not. The normal parliamentary process is to give a green paper, open for discussion and alteration and views before you finalize it into a white paper. But no, this government came out of the white paper, have 2-3 days debate in Parliament and just pass it. So the same question that you asked, what gave them the confidence to do that? Which brings me to the next point. All right, I hate to be political, sorry Bertha Hansen, but I have to be political. How many seats does the PAP need to govern Singapore? 56 is enough. But they want everything. So, does that answer your question?
Thank you, Kwan. Yeah. Okay, there's a question from this press.
Hi, Sean from the Asian Observer. Question for the entire panel. We basically came out here on the premise that we wanted to say no to the white paper. But none of you actually touched on this topic, and I want you guys to answer from what you know, especially Mr. Jise, since you worked under Mr. Goh Chok Tong. What can we do as citizens to actually send a message to the government that we don't want them to proceed with this plan?
Did you say? Want to attempt that?
Well, the ultimate is a vote. Only can get rid of them, get them out of government. I wish the next general election is tomorrow, but we have certain rules, certain timetable to go. Obviously, I don't think many of us can wait till 2016. To ask them to change before 2016, I mean, it's not possible under the parliamentary rules.
Thanks, JC. Anyone from the panel want to answer? Yeah, Leong, after that we go back to that.
I try to give a statistical answer to both the lady and the young man. Statistically, it's very hard to lose because you can change the boundaries at will. You know who's voting what and where, so statistically it's very hard to lose. Secondly, as GC has mentioned, if they bring in 25,000 new citizens a year, I think GC said 125,000 in 5 years or something, then statistically you accept the notion, the argument that new citizens will typically vote for the incumbent, then statistically it's also very hard to lose. But the young man's question is probably the most important one that I think nobody here knows. Maybe I should let the cat out of the bag. I just discovered this morning that according to the Department of Statistics Population Trends 2012 report, the Singapore citizen population last year only increased by 28,000. So the entire citizen population went up by 28,000, and if you brought in 20 or 25 new citizens, don't look right, What happened to the rest of the Singaporeans? Either they are dying a lot, or they are leaving the country. The numbers don't make sense. But coming back to your question, if you have 25,000 new citizens and the entire citizen population only increased by 28,000, statistically, it's very hard for GSA to win. I hate to say that.
Jonathan, thanks, Chi Hian.
It's going to be difficult because civil society has been destroyed and crippled because of the 1987 Marxist conspiracy, and the kind of control that the government has over us. I mean, I if I just quote the recent example, which I also mentioned in my speech, look at Nizam. Yeah, just because he attended and he was espousing views which the government didn't like, yeah, and then his exco was pressured, yeah, into by the minister through funding cuts. Yeah, so when the government is so oppressive like that, how can civil society, who are really the voice of the people, because these are organizations and groups that work with the people, how can they actually disagree, voice out what they want to say, when there are so much threats coming from the powers that be? So this really is a huge systemic issue. True, the next elections we probably might not be able to get there, but it's a long process. Civil society has to be empowered, otherwise we'll not be able to be the voice and live up to the voice that we are supposed to be.
Okay, maybe I'll just answer Sean a bit quick answer, but why is it that the government has so much confidence that they will do this regardless? They know that they are so sure that they will still be in power, right? I think Ian has told you the statistics. They can draw boundaries anytime, we draw boundaries anytime, but the additional tool now they have is new citizens. So even across, if you look at it on a national basis, 12%, it's difficult to achieve a swing of more than 10% in any election, but it is not impossible. So if more people come out and you have achieved a swing of 13% like in Punggol East, then obviously if there is a 13% swing across every constituency in Singapore, in 2016, the PAP would fall. That was the analysis done by Alex Au in his blog. So the opposition will have more than 43 seats. Can we achieve a 30% swing like in Punggol East? We hope so, and we want to work towards that, because you need that kind of swing before you have any change of government. And obviously the government thinks that they have control over the media too. They do have a control over media. But I think we need to be active on the social media, expand the social media space, and get more and more people, like in Malaysia, they have raised the penetration rate to 60% of the voters, which is a fantastic thing. In Singapore, I don't know how much, maybe 20-30%, but hopefully over the next few years we can achieve 50-60% penetration. Then we are there. I think we must expand the social media field and must spread the message, because and also try to cultivate the new citizens too. Don't give up hope on them. Try to persuade them to our side, because ultimately they may vote this time round, but 5 years down the road they will suffer like the rest of Singaporeans. So, and we hope they change, because the way, well, I think it will come, but we want to make it a bigger swing, and we want more people to come out and more people to spread the message. Do not think that they will be right in gerrymandering. They are now adding, frankly, they now can add new citizens on a constituency basis. They can just put more here, more there, we draw the boundary, they can do that. They have the statistics to do it. So, and they have the HDB allocation policy to do it. But they can do it, but they can be wrong.
Hi, my name is Lim Swee King. I blog at bettersingapore.blogspot.com. The question is, if our population growing at this speed, and is our economy growing at the same speed? Is our population growing faster than our economic growth? Because our economy seems to be stagnated, but our population keep on growing. The second thing is, I'm not very sure new migrants is actually supporting this government, nor the rich is supporting this government. Maybe we have to check whether Sentosa Cove actually is, those voters actually support the government preferred candidates in the presidential elections.
Okay.
I think these are important indicators that how can the new migrants supporting them when they are prejudiced against?
Maybe Guan, then Robert, you want to try? Guan?
All right, your first point. You say whether bringing in more foreigners will better our economy. I think this question is best directed to any minister, really.
I have asked them.
We do not have all the true facts and figures with us. If you listen to Mr. Leong, we do not have all the true facts and figures with us. So really, my answer will be as good a guess as anyone's, as yours. Will bringing in more foreigners improve our economy? Mr. Lee Hsien Loong said, the more foreigners we bring in, we create more jobs for Singapore. Ask him, how does he do it?
Can I?
Let's not get into a debate.
Yeah, no, I'm not debating. I just give you the point, okay? Because actually when Lee Hsien Loong talked about this white paper, he mentioned two jobs. Nurses to take care of the aged and construction. Are this helping our economy or are this not helping our economy because we are especially export oriented? Are they helping? Because the number increase is faster than the economic growth.
Thank you.
Thank
Maybe Robert, you have the attempt.
I think before we can answer the detailed question as to whether a foreign worker, when he's brought in as a new citizen, is actually a move that is good for Singapore in the long run in terms of social integration, being able to live to the multiracial and multicultural vibrancy that we already so far established. I think this is something that's not well studied. It's just an assumption based on GDP growth. And other than GDP growth, we are already seeing very strong evidence that the people who are living here on PR, on citizenship, actually they have their own plan. They just come in to take you as a stepping stone. They intend to, get out as soon as possible. And there are many such posts in the internet. People who actually reveal their intention of accepting the citizenship and PR because they want to make use of Singapore's leaders' stupidity. They want to get out as quickly. When they make the money, they will send their children to America. So I think we must answer this kind of question so that we can understand the whole social fabric, how it affects Singapore in the long run. But I said to say, we haven't got this social study. We only see the evidence. Recently, there's a strong case of somebody who actually posted and said that, look how stupid you all Singapore are. Why do you allow the government leader to do this? My two children who are given a PR, I'm going to get them out. As soon as I make the money for my HDB flat. You know what I mean? So the government is not aware, and maybe the assumption is wrong. Even the GDP assumption is wrong. They did not target the correct skilled worker, the talent that we want.
Yeah, as a housewife, a grandma, basically, I have some simple solutions to our economic woes. Mothers need to go to work. They send their kids to childcare or to their grandparents. If the government should subsidize, really subsidize, home-based childcare, meaning my neighbor next door can help me look after the kid. I don't have to lug the kid all the way from Pasir Ris to Tiong Bahru, for example. And the government right now gives subsidies to what? Childcare centers, official childcare places, right? If they will change their mindset, they will say, no, too difficult to monitor. Is the quality good enough? Is the home clean enough? Blah, blah, blah. Excuse me, look at us, our generation. I'm born 56. Exactly 56. We grew up in that kind of environment. The neighbors watch out for us. Yeah? We open our door whole day. Only late at night when we go to bed, then we close the door. That was the kind of environment we had. But what happened now? In my block, a point block, my family is the only one that refused to put an iron grill as a matter of principle. You say so safe, Singapore so good, police so good, everything so good. I believe you. I don't want an iron grill. The police came around 3 times to tell me, put in an iron grill. I got so tired. Okay, I put it in. So you see, things are almost created by the policymakers, the powers that be, who unthinkingly, okay, follow through on some great idea from somebody. If we will all put our minds to it. Another example, imagine people eat at hawker centers. When I mentioned this, I said, but hawker centers use very poor oil, cheap, right? Palm oil. That's not giving us all cholesterol problems, high blood pressure. Imagine if the government were to subsidize good oil for sale, meaning at the import point, you give very, very cheap rates for imported good oil. What will happen? You get good, well, better hawker food, not all these cholesterol-laden oils. So, creative policies from a housewife, okay? Implementable, but is that the political will? I don't think so, because they want to have all the statistics that show, wow, good import figures for this and that and that. Not simple housewife logic. Housewives are actually great governors, economists. They have to make sure they're well set. So where, like someone asked the lady who spoke for single moms, where is the compensation for housewives? You don't get CPF, you have no benefit, nothing.
Listening to the questions and the answers, let me share with you some very interesting statistics. It's already May 1st, you know. How come no update on the number of new citizens granted last year? How come no update on the number of PRs granted last year? In 2011, they granted 19,777 new citizens and 27,500. So like the AIM report now is late now. Okay? Now, if you study history, arguably, overconfidence can be a double-edged sword, no? At least from a statistical perspective. I'll give you one example. Our GDP growth last year was only 1.3%. It's probably the lowest in ASEAN, you know. Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, Philippines, last year they all grew by more than 5%, and Singapore only a miserable 1.3%. So perhaps this overconfidence has created this sense of inertia in government. They keep doing the same thing. They refuse to see what we call the writings on the wall. Right? Even after 2 casinos, you're doing 1.3%, and other economies around you are doing more than, more than 5%. So overconfidence can be a real, what you call, double-edged sword.
Yeah, thanks. David, yeah, go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Good evening. I'm Daniel Leong.
Hey, hi, Daniel.
Because when we come, we hear a lot of PMET taking foreigners taking up PMET jobs, right? And then those cleaners, those lower jobs. There are a lot of foreigners also, which Singaporeans are avoiding, right? So now we hear a lot of we also the government also tell us they want foreign talent, right? So now I want for us out here, who are the talent, who are the PMET, who are the cleaners? Mr. Statistic, Mr. Leong, is there any way we can find out, we can measure out all this and give us a better picture, what we are having in Singapore? Because we are only listening.
Yeah, because I help jobless people, right, for the last 5 years. Actually, what I find most surprising is that there's a quota for work permit, there's a quota for S passes, but there's no quota for EP passes. I think this is the one category which affects a lot of our jobs. For example, EP holder comes in, he just needs to be paid $3,000, and he must have a degree, and the employer can hire him. But the biggest problem is 100% of the office can be filled with foreigners using EP pass. But if you employ S passes, you find that S-Pass there's a quota. I think for S-Pass you must hire 4 or 5 Singaporeans. They can hire a S-Pass. But for EP Pass, surprisingly, there's no quota at all. So I find this amazing because the EP category is the pass that affects our jobs a lot. Because we are in that category of degree holders, diploma, and the 3K category is also what most average Singaporeans earn, 3 to 5,000 wage category. Yeah. Yes, sir. William. William's want to say something.
Okay, basically, for them to get 100% foreigner in the company, PR is considered as a resident here, so they consider as a Singaporean. So, when the S-Pass or E-Pass, right, they convert to PR, right, they can bring in more foreign talents from overseas to fill in the jobs where the Singaporeans can get. This is why I was here suggest PR to be separate out from Singaporean instead of just Singaporeans or PR.
Yeah, I think we probably might have to end because my permit is until 7 o'clock. It's 8 o'clock. Yeah. Yeah, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe, okay, we will end at 8. Is it okay? Now it's 7:50. I have 10 minutes. We'll end at 8. Is it okay, ma'am? Yeah. So we will take you, and you. That's it. 4 more. Yes, sir. After you, sir, is you, sir. Then you, ma'am. Then you, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Hello, my name is Govind. My question is addressed to Mr. Tanji. Earlier you spoke about sort of a coalition government in the event of the opposition getting the votes. I'm very skeptical knowing what's going on in the political parties, the opposition parties in Singapore. They simply don't want to get united. Their egos are far too big. And as voters, I think most of us here would want a unified opposition to be presented as soon as possible. Maybe you can say something on that.
Well, I hope we can be more united, but actually it's not too bad. The last election shows that there was, except for one single member constituency, there was no 3-5. So I wouldn't be too pessimistic. So I think I hope the same spirit of cooperation can continue in 2016. I think it will make more sense for them not to have 3-5.
Maybe Mr. Tanji Sui can answer this question. You know, I feel that there is a political motive to bring in 6.9 million foreigners, and the government claimed that these are talented people. Who says Singapore has no talent? Right? Correct? Let me tell you why the government cheated on us and why. A few years back, I think those students that want to go to university must pass the Chinese, correct? They must pass Chinese. Otherwise, they cannot go to university. So this younger generation cannot pass Chinese. They are frustrated, and they have to go overseas. And when they go overseas, they don't want to come back. So the government know that this. So this could be one of the ways to replace them. But the foreigners do not need to pass Chinese, and they are taking all the jobs in all the factories. You ask anybody, foreign talent. Singapore got foreign talent, right? Right? Every interview, this foreigner quote 50% lower than the Singaporean. Our salary go back to 20 years ago. Right? So now you answer me, why the government has changed the policy? Why the government don't need this foreign talent from Philippines, Malaysia, Indonesia, India to pass Chinese, where our generation need to pass Chinese to go to university? Why? Right. So, so this point is very, very important. Our people are deprived of the chance to go to university, and worse still, the foreigner can come in with a fake degree without any language bar from Philippines. All these are fake degree, maybe. Huh? Okay?
Actually, Mr. Thanks very much for the comment. I think a lot of us can empathize with that. And as for the foreign, I think a lot of parents are very sad that their children who have studied abroad have decided not to come back. And I think a lot of parents feel very bad. They pay $500,000 for each child to study abroad, and yet the child decided to stay back in the country and not coming back. I think this is quite a tragedy for several families. But that is why there are 200,000 Singaporeans working abroad. We should ask them to come back and vote in 2016. Work them up and then ask them to register for postal vote.
Last question
Why don't the
from
government ask the foreign talent
sorry.
to pass the Chinese before they come to Singapore?
Thank you, sir. Very
Hi.
passionate. Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Okay, my main concern is the 6.9 million.
Yes, sir.
I hope that this coming National Day, can all Singaporean has a right to vote against, because we can't wait until 2016. It's too long. And then National Day is meant for Singaporean, so I think that's a proper day to all Singaporean. Maybe in any way, just teach us how. Maybe I would like to sign a petition or what, because there's no way we can vote out the white paper. It's already approved. So what about Singaporean? We have our say. So please make this National Day meaningful day, and all Singaporeans which are against of the 6.9, please come forward and write down name and vote. This is my main concern. Thank you.
Yeah, can we ask someone, not GC again, give him a break, maybe Leong, GC want to speak.
I want to address the question on PMET statistics. Actually, they are there, there are a lot of people like me whose hobby is to go and pick it out. In 2004, a professor at the university did a very detailed study which basically said that we were importing more PMETs than we were producing them in all the tertiary institutions. Okay, now, I know I've been giving you very pessimistic statistics, like how you say, very hard to win. Let me give you a very optimistic one. Overconfidence, in my view, is causing people to do the same thing. The same thing. You sue people, you arrest people. Why do you do that? 杀一儆百. You kill one, you frighten 100. But statistically, you must realize that when you kill one, you frighten 100 people from speaking up, But every time you do that, more people will vote against you, So if they don't play this card of overconfidence well, one day, you may get a coalition government.
Okay, man. Maybe one last reply from the speakers before we call it a night. Any one last reply, Kwang, before we call it a night, really?
Well, the lady who made the point about holding an election, I absolutely share your sentiments. Let's hold an election as soon as possible. But we believe in the rule of law, all right? Our constitution says the government which is voted into power stays in power for 5 years. So we believe in the rule of law, and we would go by it, all right? But frankly, I absolutely share your sentiment. I wish you hold the election next year. Thank you very much.
Really. I want to go back. I'm very hungry. I'm very tired also.
We can't hold election, but we can hold our own referendum. Nothing to stop us. Yeah? We will have an online referendum. We'll work it out somehow. And about National Day celebration here, it need not be any particular one. All of us can cooperate and come together spontaneously. Someone just needs to make a call, right? So watch out for National Day. We'll have something.
Okay, I think we will end the press conference here. Right. It's historical event today. I think today you have come for an event that's held for the first time by the people for the people. For the last 50 years, all Labor Day protests are held by NTUC. But today, you're attending one that's held by the people. I think you ought to be very proud of that. Right. Thank you, Singapore. Have a good night. Sit well. Look at the pictures. Good night, Singapore. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much.